Hello, welcome to my prepping video. There are many amazing prepping videos out there that thoroughly cover the survival gear, first aid kits, how to bunker down, and how to bug out or survive off the wilderness. However, all the videos I've seen have overlooked a crucial topic on how to prepare for SHTF scenarios. My video is not only about how to store gear and food, but how and why it is important to have all of your paperwork and documents in order. You have so many more advantages to be mobile and travel freely with your paperwork in order. There are also so many setbacks if they're not. For example, I travel to Canada from the US frequently, and I always see travelers held at the border because of a problem with their passport, like an expiration. I'm a dual citizen of the US and France. There is no universal health care in the US, so I make sure to have my US and French passport valid in the event I would need to travel to France to access their healthcare system. A French passport also gives me access to most of Europe as well, since it is part of the European Union. Always have your birth certificate, diplomas, SSN card, driver's license, passports, banking info, writing samples, resume, cover letter, and references in order, because it can take weeks or months to organize and get copies of your files. This is time that you would not have should you need to leave the country in an emergency. You don't need to be a dual citizen like I am to leave the country in an emergency. With a valid US passport, you can spend up to 6 months at a time in Canada in an emergency or to access cheaper healthcare. Make sure your professional references are up to date with at least 3 non-blood related references who are solid and who can vouch for you. Your ability to get a lease or a job depend on them. Make sure any car insurance documents are valid as well as registration and driver's license, because you need to be mobile without problems anchoring you down. Make sure to scan and password protect your documents at your local library as a PDF backup in case you lose them in travel. The last thing you want is to be without documents in a foreign country or even here at home. Make sure you have a checkbook with sufficient funds so you don't have to waste time with money orders or bank checks. I have a system on how to encrypt passwords on paper to take passwords with you safely while you travel. For example, if your password is, bear with me a minute. Hypothetically speaking, now obviously this is not a real password, but if your password is 2468AB, you can encrypt it by adding an A, 24C, 68Z, AB, and I underlined the decoy characters. So you can encrypt that by adding a system of decoy characters such as A, C, Z. You can create your own system. So if you're traveling and you lose your password book and somebody finds it, they won't know what this means to log in. They'll just see a code that doesn't work, whereas this is your real password. A, C, Z are fake, and you could create your own system. Just make sure to remember it. Now, this prepping video would not be complete without some additional overlooked items to include in your kit. Let's get to it. All right, so we got your 5-year shelf life. Emergency food ration bars. These are one of my favorites. Vacuum sealed, they don't go bad. And they taste really good. And you know what? You could add peanut butter on top of that. Now, peanut butter is one of my prepping favorites because it's filling, high in calories, high in fat, but that's good fat that you can burn off pretty easily too. Makes an excellent topping too. All right, another item. Earplugs. If you want to get peace and quiet while you travel, or if you have a noisy roommate. Okay. an AM FM radio, sports radio. Now you could get the weather on that, news or entertainment. Like in an SHTF scenario, you would want to be connected with the outside world. A compass? Well, I don't really need to explain how a compass works. Always good to have, though. Good to know where you're going. Now, one thing that's really overlooked in prepping videos are locks. Good to have a bunch of locks in case you need to lock up your files or any cash on hand or anything of value. Flashlights. 1, 2. The saying in prepping is 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Always have a backup in case this one burns out. You got this one left. Same thing with knives. Utility tool. And I have a backup Swiss Army knife too. And this has pliers, a file, a saw so that you could cut branches, sticks to make a fire, and a bunch of other tools too on it. I'm not going to go through them all. You get the gist. Always have emergency candles too. 50 backup candles. Also, they're good at getting a fire going too. I mean, you don't want to only rely on matches. Eye safety glasses. If you're in the woods bugging out, or if you're in the desert, you don't want sand in your eyes, you don't want branches poking at you, and they're good for like doing carpentry and stuff, or even for working out. Like, there's so many uses for it. You definitely want to protect your eyes. Pack of gloves. And this here, well, I wear glasses. And these are my backup glasses, current prescription. In an SHTF scenario, the last thing you want is to be without glasses. So if mine break, like I said before, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Good to have a backup set of glasses, because without glasses, I mean, you're done. Well, that's all the prepping gear I got to show for now. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like, subscribe, and stay prepared. Thanks for tuning in.